Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we decode the financial secrets of the giants. And this time we're looking at Kimberly-Clark Corporation. And let me tell you, there's a lot to unravel in this report. Maybe not a whole lot of drama, but definitely some interesting tidbits about how they're doing behind the scenes. So it's August 1st of 2025 and Kimberly-Clark is dropping a current report detailing their performance up to the second quarter of this year. Essentially, they're giving us a snapshot of how their business is running right about now. This is the company behind some really familiar household names. Those paper towels and tissues you probably have in your home, like Huggies and Kleenex. Kimberly-Clark is a big player in the consumer staples market, which means people tend to keep buying their products even when times are tough, making them a pretty stable investment. Usually, now the most exciting part of these filings for us is usually the financial performance. And while this report is more about announcing that they've released their earnings, that release itself is usually packed with all the juicy numbers. What this report is really telling us is that attached to this document is a press release from August 1st, 2025 that talks all about how Kimberly-Clark did in the quarter that ended June 30th, 2025. Think of it as them saying, hey, we've got the latest details on our sales, our profits, and how we're managing the business, and it's all in this press release they're referencing. So the real meat of the financial story isn't directly in this filing itself, but in that accompanying press release, which they've helpfully tagged as Exhibit 99.1. This means we'd have to go digging into that specific press release to get the nitty-gritty numbers like revenues and earnings per share, but this Form 8K is like the official notification that those numbers are indeed out there and available for us to see. And who's putting their name on this official stamp is Andrew Scribner, the Vice President and Controller, which is a pretty senior finance role, so you know this is a trusted announcement from the company's financial leadership. When we look at a company like Kimberly-Clark, we're often interested in how they're performing, not just quarter to quarter, but how they're navigating broader economic trends. They operate in a competitive space with companies like Procter & Gamble and Georgia-Pacific. Their strategy often involves managing these well-known brands, innovating in product development, and controlling costs to maintain profitability. These are the kinds of things we'd expect to see reflected in their earnings report. So what this filing tells us is that the latest financial update from Kimberly-Clark is out. We know it's about their second quarter of 2025, and we know where to find the details, the press release. If we were diving deep, we'd be analyzing things like their net sales growth, any changes in their profit margins, maybe how much debt they have compared to their assets, and how steady their cash flow is from operations. These are the indicators that tell the real story of a company's health beyond just the headline numbers. Overall, this filing is less about a major event or a strategic shift and more about the regular cadence of corporate reporting. They're fulfilling their duty to keep investors informed about their financial condition and operational results by attaching that crucial earnings press release. It's a standard part of their ongoing communication with the market. Now, my take on Kimberly-Clark generally is that they're a fairly stable company. Thanks to their strong brand portfolio, people always need essential household products, but that also means they're not usually a high growth stock. Their challenge is to find ways to grow in more mature markets, perhaps through new product introductions or expanding into new geographic regions or even acquiring smaller brands. One risk they always face is input cost inflation. Think about the price of paper pulp or transportation impacting their manufacturing costs. They need to be adept at passing these costs on to consumers without hurting demand. Looking at this filing in isolation without the actual numbers from the press release is like getting an invitation to a party but not knowing who's coming or what the entertainment is. We know the party is happening and that it's important, but the real substance is in that separate announcement. What we can infer though is that they are timely with their reporting, which is a good sign of responsible management. It means they're not hiding anything and are adhering to the expected financial disclosure timelines. So in conclusion, this report primarily acts as a notification that Kimberly-Clark has released its second quarter financial results for 2025. We'd need to review that attached press release for the actual performance figures, but the formality of this filing underscores their commitment to transparency. It's a solid consumer staples company that likely continues to provide essential goods with steady demand, but growth and managing costs will always be key areas to watch. Alright, that's our quick decode of this Kimberly-Clark filing. What are your thoughts on the consumer staples sector and companies like Kimberly-Clark? Let us know in the comments below if you found this breakdown helpful. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more dives into corporate finance. And hey, don't forget to join our Discord community linked in the description below for even more discussions. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next decode.